I refuse to let my in-laws store their car at my house after they said no to every favor we ever asked. My husband Dave and I just bought our first house. It's small, but it's ours, and we worked our butts off to afford it. The driveway has 3 parking spots, which sounds like a lot until you realize my SUV and his truck take up most of the space. I'm 6 months pregnant with our first baby, a girl, and we're trying to get everything ready before she arrives. Then last week, Dave's parents dropped a bomb on us. They're moving 3 states away and want to store a car at our house for whenever they visit. Not a small car either. They're talking about keeping a Ford Explorer in our driveway permanently, just sitting there taking up space for the maybe twice a year they might come see us. Here's the thing about Dave's parents. They've been supporting his older brother Mike and his family for years. And I mean everything. They bought Mike a house, bought him multiple cars, sent him money constantly, paid to move him to different states like 4 times, pay for all his kids' stuff. Mike is 37 years old and has never had to adult a single day in his life. Meanwhile, Dave and I have always been the reliable ones. That's literally what they call us. We work hard, save our money, never ask for help with anything. When I was finishing grad school, we lived with Dave's parents and paid them rent plus utilities. We helped with chores, did yard work, the whole thing. During that time, we asked them for a small loan to help with a down payment on a house. They said no. When my car broke down and I needed to borrow one of theirs to get to work, they said no. They're retired, so it's not like they were using both cars. Every single favor we've ever asked, they've said no. But we figured it out on our own. We always do. We saved up, bought the house ourselves, and I just bought a new car a few months ago because my old one kept dying on me. Then I got pregnant, and right after we told them the news, they announced they were moving. They said they'd try to visit for every other holiday, but made this weird comment about how they're not just babysitters when they come, which was random because we never even asked them to babysit. Now they want us to store this car at our house. Dave thinks we should do it. He says we can use their car if one of ours breaks down, and it'll make it easier for his aging parents to visit their granddaughter without having to rent a car. I told him that's insane. First of all, the car will take up our entire 3rd parking spot, which means every time we need to get out, we'll have to play musical chairs with 3 vehicles. Second, I know exactly what's going to happen. Dave will end up being responsible for all the maintenance, oil changes, inspections, keeping the battery charged, all of it. And third, they're about to buy a brand new car, pay insurance on it year-round, pay registration fees just so they can save money on a rental car twice a year. The math doesn't even make sense. It would be way cheaper to just rent a car when they actually visit, but Dave can't see it. He keeps saying we should help his parents out because they're getting older and we have the space. I finally asked him why we should bend over backwards for people who said no every single time we needed help. He got quiet and admitted he's worried that if we say no, they won't visit as much. That's when I realized his parents have been manipulating him his whole life. They give Mike everything and make Dave feel guilty for having boundaries. Last night we had another huge fight about it. I told him they can rent a car like normal people, or Mike can store their car since they've done everything else for him. Dave said I was being cold and that family helps family. So I pulled out our old rental agreement from when we lived with them. I showed him every rent check we wrote, every utility bill we paid. Then I showed him the bank statements from when we asked for help with the house down payment, and they said no. Dave just stared at the papers. Then he looked at me and said his parents called him yesterday asking if we'd decided yet because they need to know before they buy the car. They're literally about to purchase a vehicle just to store at our house. I told Dave we're not doing it. If his parents want to visit their granddaughter, they can figure out transportation like every other grandparent in America. Our driveway is not a free parking lot for people who couldn't help us when we actually needed it. Dave hasn't spoken to his parents yet. He's still deciding whose side he's on.